Begin Test 4. The date is 9th of July, 2057. This is Dr. Samuel Layden, and I'll be your overseer for this test. Good morning, Test Subject 4. Can you hear me clearly? Hello, is this working? Yeah, everything appears to be working. Subject 4, can you hear me? Is something wrong? Hold on, let me check up on your phone. Oh, it says here that you're mute. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know. I wasn't informed of this beforehand. Anyways, let me just explain how this works. You probably have already read and know, since you were required to read the contract before you signed it, but I'll run you over the basics just for you. We here at Quanti specialize in quantum research and experiments. You're here to test out a new invention we call the Quantum Size Regulator, or QSR for short. You've already been given the device, and it should be strapped around your hip. The purpose of this device is to rearrange or add quarks in any object it's strapped to. In layman's terms, it changes the size and weight of any object it's attached to. In this case, it's you. We'll explain more when we get to the tests. Before we begin, though, I'd like to remind you that in the off chance of death, your family will be sent payment as compensation. Anyway, let's begin. Alright, before we get to the more extreme experiments, we have something simple here. Simply pick up the key card and open the door. If you can't solve this test, then you're going to have a really hard time. Test 1 passed. Now we can get to the QSR. There should be a button on the left side of the device. Simply press it to shrink. Excellent. You've passed that test 2. Let's move on. Alright, on the right side of your device there is a button. Instead of making you shrink, it will increase your size. Not only that, but it will also make you heavier. Now, in front of you is a pressure plate. Normally, you'd be too light to press it down, but try increasing your size and bring that platform over. Great, you survived test 3. As you probably noticed, when you shrink, it becomes easier to move around. Your lighter weight makes you faster and allows you to jump higher. The opposite applies when you grow large. Now, the button on the right side of the room is connected to that. Alright, now we've got a few jumps for you. Like I said before, being small allows you to jump further due to your lighter weight. Use that to your advantage. Great, test 4 solved. On to the next one. And for the next test we have... You know what? Screw the format. So, how are you doing anyway? Oh, right, you're mute. I'm just going to assume you're fine since you haven't dropped to the floor crying like the previous people. Me? I'm doing pretty alright. Not too good, and not too bad. Things have been going haywire up top, but I'm sure you already knew that. You know, it's actually a nice change of having someone who doesn't talk. It was a lot different with the other 3 subjects. Did you hear what happened to them? Right, you can't respond, sorry. Subject 1 was a pretty nice guy. We had a short chat before he tried the QSR, and whoa, thank God he tried one thing then the other, because he tried shrinking himself first. And he began to shrink himself. Infinitely. I could hear his screams for a while until he became too small for the radio waves to be able to, even be produced. We observed him for a while, and eventually he became so small, he turned into a black hole. Don't worry, though, it was a micro black hole. It evaporated almost immediately. At least he was the first person to experience what's inside a black hole. So that's something. Thankfully, he didn't try growing himself. If he'd done that, he would have expanded infinitely and destroyed Earth and quite the whole galaxy, really. Subject 2 was a nice woman, but we didn't talk as much. She had an unfortunate fate as well. Once she shrank herself, she didn't quite grow small. No, she turned herself inside out. It was not a pleasant sight at all, and I feel bad for the janitors. I can't imagine her inside smelled any good. I barely talked to Subject 3. He was loud, obnoxious, and pretended to know everything. When he shrank himself, though, that changed. Everything appeared to be working, until I realized that he was a lot quieter than he had been before. Turns out, when he shrank himself, so did his brain, and with it, his cognitive functions. He was basically like an ant. We tried reversing the process, but it was impossible. We told the family he had died to shield them from the truth, and we just have him locked up in one of our labs. But don't worry, we figured out to shrink people without their cognitive functions failing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You'd think these kinds of problems would come up in testing. Alright, great. Man, I'm hungry. I'd get up and go eat something in the cafeteria, but I'd get in a lot of trouble if I just left you here. So the sooner you finish these tests, the faster I get out of here to go grab a snack. Alright, on to the next. I was thinking... Oh shit, hold on. Sorry, someone just walked in. Apparently, there's going to be an inspection later on. Someone from the higher-ups is going to come down here and check out what we've been up to. I'm willing to bet he won't give a rat's ass about what we're doing here anyway. We're just one of the smaller departments. Great, on to the last. I wonder how Teach is doing. I'm not actually a doctor, you see. I'm an apprentice. My teacher, Dr. Weaver, is the inventor of the QSR. He spent a lot of time on it, and you wouldn't believe the look on his face when he finally solved it. He almost broke down the door in the cafeteria when he came to tell me the news. It was very nice. It's a shame how the higher-ups treat him, though. They were never really there to be interested in his work. They were more focused on other projects and what other people had to do. He had to fight so hard to even get a little bit of funding. That's why this test isn't that large or impressive. We don't have a facility like others. We just didn't have enough funding for this. All the money is going towards other projects. Weaver would be here if he could, but he's sick at the moment, so I had to take over. That's all of them. Congrats. All tests have been passed. You know, this was a really nice, good break from all the daily stress. You doing good? No injuries or nausea? No? Great. Then everything was successful. I'll open the door for you in a bit, but be sure to just walk down the hallway, and there you should be in a small room where you can just rest for a bit. And then you can collect your payment, and me, I'll go get something to eat. So goodbye, Subject 4. Thank you for your participation. Oh yeah, I gotta end this recording professionally. Test 4 successful. All tests completed and no abnormalities in the test subject. The date is 9th of July, 2057. Overseer, Dr. Samuel Aiden, and Test 4.